Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request. This time for Bryan. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or reactions or topics or randomness, commentaries, reviews, what have you, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is for a film called Komodo from 1999. Now, this is a film I had heard of, and I might have seen once, but I didn't remember much about it. I mean, obviously the title tells you what it is, but you know what? This film, it has its issues. It has its issues. You know, the characters to be labeled fairly cliche. There's not as much gore as I wish would have been displayed for this type of creature feature. I wish there was a bit more action to really go into like the second or third level of excitement or adrenaline pumping visceralness. But for a film that went pretty much direct to video, this was okay for a couple reasons. Number one, I've seen way worse. I know that's not saying much, but when you watch the amazing Bulk, Feeders 1 and 2, Neil Breen movies, Nostalgia Critics movies, what was that one with Al Lewis, Grandpa Munster? I forgot, some awful 80s horror film. This has been a lot. They blend you. This is like, you know what, the effects, the CGI is dated, it's 1999 CG, but at the same time, did you tell, even for its time, it was still a little bit above the other direct-to-video stuff of its time. And it's not that awful. Like, it's CG, but it's a bit more tolerable. Either because of the creatures or... Again, it just seemed like it's dated compared to today, very dated, but at the same time you see... You know, it's not as shabby as Sci-Fi Channel Asylum stuff. And then what's nice is that they actually incorporate some practical effects. And I thought that the actors, while their characters were cliche, I thought the actors were... Jill Hennessy, I liked. She's been in a couple stuff. I remember her from this film called Exit Wounds with Steven Seagal. She played the captain who maybe doesn't believe Seagal, but then starts believing Steven Seagal's story, and then actually her character didn't... Kind of surprised what they did with her character. But anyway, for those who haven't seen it, I won't spoil it. But I liked her in that. She does a pretty decent job here. She plays a psychiatrist who's working with this teenager. And the teenager, in the beginning, it's in North Carolina. Him and his parents and his dog have gone to this island. Perhaps like a vacation spot or new place to stay. But then later that night, there's weird sounds going on about. Teen, you know, just looking around his new surroundings. And, well, shit hits the fan, so to speak. And his parents don't end up the best way. And there's some repressed memory because of that. And so Jill Hennessy plays this psychiatrist who says, you know what, if I take this kid back, maybe it'll open up some repressed memories. Now granted, I still think that's a dumb idea, but at least there are people calling it out. Like, there's an aunt of the teens, like, what? Like, and at least Jill, she's trying to sell why she needs to, this could work. And because I like the lead girl, it makes me, the premise a little bit easier for me to swallow. So her, the teen, and the teen's aunt go to this island. This very nice boat captain. I like the actor. I forgot the actor's name, but I thought the boat captain seemed like a very nice guy. Trying to talk with the teen, and it just again, the acting. I know there's a lot of bad mouth of the acting. I can understand in some circumstances with some of these folks, but like Joe Hennessy, I liked. Also, there's another guy played by Billy Burke, which he looks familiar. I mean, he looks familiar. Billy Burke. He plays one of these two guys who, and sort of your subplot that comes to a head with our main characters. They've been hired to take care of this problem with these big Komodo dragons. Obviously, with the title, that's what it's about. And I didn't mind Billy Burke. You get a little bit of his backstory later on, detailing his wife and what happened to her, and how he died in the situation. And Billy Burke, I thought, him and Joe Hennessy worked fine together. And I'm trying to think, like, Billy Burke, maybe it's this film I had seen called Untraceable. Maybe he was in that film, or I can't remember which film exactly it was that I'm like, yep, that's the film I remember the most in. But I thought him and Joe Hennessy were the two better actors of the movie. The teenager, I get where they're going with his character because he saw a horrible event, so he's really out of it. I don't know if it's the actor's fault or the script's fault or the director's fault. There are times that because they wrote this character into a situation where he's so messed up in the head, he'll do really stupid decisions. You know, what the fuck this kid. You know, that's the reaction you get out of it. And part of me wished, well, I get why you have the teen kid, but of the main three, he was the one I liked the least. Like, there are times he'll run off, and like, what the fuck are you doing? Or he just walks away. Or he, like, becomes fucking Tarzan. And, like, I get what they're doing, but, like, I don't know. I get what they're trying to do in writing this character, but it just, something bugged me the wrong. But I will say what made it work is that the movie looked a bit more polished in terms of the look of the film, the way certain scenes are directed in terms of not doing shaky cam, or the way monsters are utilized in certain sequences, the way some of the monsters look. Again, even the CGI, it's like a little bit above some of the CGI you would see at the time, direct-to-video wise. Again, the practical effects, there was nice to see that blended into it. Some aspects, like their drool, apparently is the type of thing that if it gets on you, it could get your skin this case of bacteria, and it'll be eaten away. And it's one of those things that you could tell that one of the reasons this film got made is because of the success of films like Jurassic Park. And then the sequel, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 2. And they go, well, you know, what else can we do? Dinosaurs? Well, what the dinosaur... Oh, dragons. Well, not real dragons. Oh, Komodo dragons. And this is around the time you had a lot of these type of creature features. And I don't think it's up to... I do enjoy Anaconda. I enjoy The Relic. I enjoy Mimic. Deep Rising, I love Deep Rising. Those all came out before this. Deep Rising was 1998. Very fun Tree Williams film. One of my personal favorite creature feature films. Yeah, the CGI is what it is of its time, but the designs of the creatures and the way the setting and the action set pieces and the just flat out energy Stephen Sommers puts into it. It was a great precursor to the 99 The Mummy that Stephen Sommers did. Again, I love Deep Rising. Mimic, good Mira Sorvino, Guillermo del Toro flick. I love The Relic. I love the monster in the museum aspect. Love Tom Sizemore as a superstitious detective. Anaconda I saw in the theater. I had fun in a B movie. I like the cast. I think Ice Cube and Jennifer Lopez actually do well for what they're supposed to do. And John Voight's a lot of fun. When you compare all those to this is definitely second, third tier. But on the flip side, if you compare this to these dime a dozen SYFY movies that just, I don't know, Crater Gate versus Dinopus, or whatever the fuck the names are, this has a bit more polish. Its lead actors of Jill and Billy have a bit more competence. The way it's shot with the lighting, and it's either raining or it's at nighttime, makes it more tolerable to watch. As like, yeah, this is okay, you know, this is a time waster. You know, there's some nice little moments when they fuck up some of the creatures, but not as much as I wished. Like, there should have been moments where they just shoot the shit out of some of these fucking things. You see, like, heads blow up, or limbs blow up, or you need a decent amount of those, like, crowd-pleasing moments. There's not as much as I wish there was. Did you get more into spoilers starting now? Spoilers. Okay, when the ant is attacked early on, and Jill grabs something and stabs the thing in the eye, that looked pretty cool. In the beginning with the kid, and we don't see his parents get eaten, we just get the idea. But there's a bit where you think the dog's safe, and then the monster, boom, grabs the dog, takes it out. I'm like, damn, I didn't expect that. Shit. I liked that moment, because that was a good way of doing the unexpected in terms of timing. And the teen, like, I did, but I think maybe a better actor, because if you're doing that thing where they're gone through a lot of shit, when he does talk or when he does act, you really need to buy into it, hook, line, and sinker, and I don't think this teen was quite up to that challenge. If you had, I don't know what teens you had at the time. As much as people give crap to Shia LaBeouf, I think he could be quite good. Whether it be in Disturbia, Eagle Eye, even that film Holes. That wasn't that bad of a movie, actually. Or, in his day, Jonathan Brandis from Sidekicks and 1990's It miniseries. In his day, Jonathan Brandis. Or even, like, you know, in his day, a Corey Haim. That, you need a stronger team. I think that would have helped. Whether it be the Joseph Gordon-Levitt or, I don't know, in 99, who was a teen at that time. Okay, Tits. Tits is an example of doing this type of stuff, but it elevated its game. I know there's some people that make fun of Tits, but I think for what it is as a creature feature, I like that elevated, you know, the makeup effects and the finale, and, you know, Tits blowing up, and then you get this giant tit creature that comes out of this person's body, and you see the blood guts of the body opening up, and like, ooh, shit, that's really gory, but it's really cool, and they're fighting the tits all with fire, and if you hit them, they blow up. That's elevated his game a decent amount. Get into the second, third tier. And I like the lead guy, oh, I know his name. Seth Green. I liked Seth Green quite a bit. Like, Seth Green, I thought, did a good job in the lead in that movie. So, as well as the other actors, they, for at least the two adults, because about two adults that take these kids out into the woods, away from city life, to kind of have them have a bit of fun away, and the issues, troubles they're having. Anyway, like, Tits is a film that elevated his game a bit more, even a direct-to-video market. This one, it needed either that visceral gore or those more. There's a couple decent moments. Billy Burke, There's a point where he takes this thing and stabs it right under the mouth of this Komodo. That looked cool. There's a bit where when they're flying away in a helicopter, he shoots his flare into the thing's mouth. That wasn't too bad. It doesn't end on a stupid note. It doesn't end on a dumb note. Again, spoilers, super spoilers. It doesn't end on a sequel bait note. For what story is telling is about a kid who went through this PTSD and he overcame it and now he's feeling better. Rather, some people dead because of these Komodo dragons, but he feels better. That could be done poorly. The Descent Part 2 is how you do that poorly. So people are like, why you do this in the past? Go watch films like The Descent Part 2, which is another film about a person that had PTSD, repressed memories, didn't understand, so then the person takes this person to the scene to try to get them to remember their memories, only then they're trapped in the cave again, and there's monsters literally bending over and shitting on our characters. I'm not kidding. That's what happens in Descent Part 2. One or two characters fall into a pit, and then you see a monster up, and fucking lean over, shit on them. And they have a stupid fucking ending that just... Spoiler for Descent Part 2. Oh, the lead girl who survived the previous descent. Because they took the... Not the one ending of the descent. They took the other ending where they chopped the other ending off. There's two endings to the first descent. One where she escapes, one she doesn't. They took the one that she does escape, so they made a sequel out of that ending. And then at the end of Descent Part 2, spoilers for that because I don't care, it's a piece of shit. In my opinion, you shouldn't see it. The lead lady, she gives a self-sacrifice to save this younger girl. She gets out, but then this guy punches her, knocks her ass back down to be fed. Because this guy's a caretaker of these creatures, that he knew what was going on. Ha ha ha, downbeat ending, fuck you. Sorry, bitch, no Descent Part 3, so the joke's on you, dipshit. Descent Part 2. That's how you do that piss poorly. This is a time waster. If you like practical, it's nice enough to watch. Like my friend Michael, the choice voice, he might get a kick out of this movie. Other people, again, it's kind of interesting to see Komodo dragons used to be your creature. And again, I like some of the practical effects. It reminds me, there was supposedly a documentary. I could never find this documentary to watch. But apparently around this time, there was a movie called Snapper that was supposed to be made. And I want to get the full... Sorry, I just want to look at the man-eating turtle movie that never got made. Now, apparently there was a documentary. I don't know if this documentary was ever released, because I could not find it to watch. But an unfinished early 90s film about a man-eating turtle that wreaks havoc on a lakeside community in New England. And they show pictures, and the pictures look really damn good. I mean, they look really damn good. Type up Snapper. Okay, go on Google, since this won't fucking show it for me. Go on Google and type in what I said. Snapper, the man-eating turtle movie that never got made. Again, apparently this is a documentary. I could not find this documentary to watch. Because I'm fascinated. And the turtle is like a snapping turtle, a giant one. And it actually looks cool. The practical effects. It actually looks pretty cool. And considering all the other films that... I mean, even if that was on the level of this film, I think that should be kind of neat. Boston special effects and makeup and horror communities of the 80s and 90s. Okay, that's where the film is being made. Again, I don't know what happened in this documentary. Yeah, I don't even know what ever got actually released. So the movie didn't get released, and I don't even know if the documentary got released. So, but yeah, that's what it reminded me of when I watched this again. I remember hearing that story, and I'm like, you know what? Like I say, if you're into, you know, it's not one of the best creature features. Not even, second best. But if this was on Sci-Fi Channel back in 2004, and I sat down and watched it, like, okay, I have issues with it. I wish a bit more happened. Wish there was a bit more adrenaline infused in it. But, I've seen much worse. This was alright. The kind of reaction, it was alright. Not something I would pick up on DVD, but it's there. It wasn't too bad. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.